Yo guys, what's up, Scott here. I'm now on summer break, so I'm going to be making more videos. I was going to make two separate videos on these two topics, but I decided just to combine it together. So first up, I'm going to talk about, two things. The two things I'm going to talk about is Jeff Jarrett's new promotion that started up, Global Force Wrestling. And I also want to talk about a little bit about TNA, more specifically Eric Young being the world champion, and my thoughts on him being a world champion since it's been a few weeks now, or about a month at least. So I'll start off with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, the guy that was behind TNA, he left, over a year ago. Starting up his own promotion, Global Force Wrestling. My thoughts on this, I'm completely fine with it. There are a lot of people, there are two people that are on the side of the fence of this, in terms of Jeff Jarrett starting up this new promotion. There's one side that says, this is awesome, this is amazing, because Jeff Jarrett made a clear statement that he wants this new promotion to be like on par and compete with the WWE. And, you have people that's on the same bandwagon, fans that are saying, oh my God, this is going to be a breath of fresh air. This is exactly what we need. I'm excited because WWE is getting boring. And it's like, okay, first of all, one, Jeff Jarrett's company is not going to compete with the WWE. I'm sorry. It's going to be an indie promotion, if anything. If it's going to compete with anyone on any scale, it'll be with Ring of Honor and, if anything, TNA. But it will not compete. It will not be on par with the WWE. And I know a lot of people say, well, never say never. That's true. But, I mean, for every year, Jeff Jarrett may, his company may grow. WWE will advance tenfold, for every year that his company may progress. So, WWE is a global, huge juggernaut. You're never going to get a company that is going to compete and be on par with WWE. What I think Jeff Jarrett's company could have the potential to do if he does things right, because he did say he's learned some lessons from TNA. Hopefully he has learned some of those lessons and won't repeat them or do them in his new company. But what he could accomplish to do is make a second solid wrestling promotion, because TNA, a lot of stuff you hear from them, it's just, they're not doing very well. And TNA, instead of being a solid just second place, you don't have to compete with WWE, just be a solid second. They're not even doing that. They're so far behind WWE's rearview mirror, you can't see them. It's ridiculous. So what Jarrett could do is, he could, build his company to be a solid number 2, but to want to, be on par with WWE and do a, Monday Night Wars 3.0, 2.0 being when TNA moved to Monday nights. That's not going to happen, and it's a huge fantasy thing that I think a lot of people need to, not fantasize about. Then you have other people on the other side of the spectrum that go and say, hey, Jeff Jarrett's company, this company's going to be shit. This company's going to be awful. It's going to fail. It won't last. Da 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 da. Now, again, I don't agree with too many people on that end, because, see, I'm all open for, I'm a wrestling fan, I'm open for multiple options, watching different wrestling products. I'll check it out. If it's good, hey, I'll stay in tune. If it's crap, don't let the door hit you on the way out. So I don't get people's already that just their burning anger towards Jeff Jarrett's, wrestling promotion, and just want to throw it in the garbage already. Yes, Jeff Jarrett is not the best businessman in the world. Yes, you've seen this history with TNA, but, not everything that's wrong with TNA you can really blame on Jeff Jarrett. Some of it is Jarrett's fault, but a good amount of it also goes towards Dixie Carter, also goes to Vince Russo and his time in the company, also goes to Hulk Hogan. So everybody has their fair share of shit that they've given TNA. And Jarrett's no excuse, but I wouldn't say everything that was wrong with TNA was Jeff Jarrett. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. So, I don't think I'm not gonna put his company in the can and say already it's a flop when it hasn't even started yet. You know, I mean, like who does that? I mean, who takes some? I mean, like dude hasn't even. He's like planning. He doesn't even have the thing lit up. He doesn't even have a TV deal yet, which I think he's working on. But the company's not even greenlit to go yet, and already people are like, "Oh, it's failed." What? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's funny. So for me, in my opinion, this whole thing on Jeff Jarrett, I'm like in between. I'm not like these fans that just have this fantasy, live in this fantasy land, thinking that this company is going to be the next best thing since sliced bread, and that it's going to compete with the WWE, and it's going to be like, I don't know, WCW 2.0 or NWA, whatever, I don't know. And I'm also not like these other people on the other side of the spectrum where they just completely can the damn company. It hasn't even started yet, and already they're just saying, oh, this company's just going to suck. I'm like in between, you know. I'm all up for, you know, wrestling promotions because I don't just watch WWE. I do watch TNA. Yes, TNA has their crappy moments. As of recently, they've been doing a lot of things wrong. But, you know, I watch TNA because there's some talent that I like there. I watch Ring of Honor. I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, you know, I watch a little bit of everything. So I'm not going to be, you know, how should I say, prejudiced towards Jarrett's up and starting company, and hasn't even launched yet. Which I believe he's going to launch in November. I think it's reported he may launch in November. Now, on to TNA. First thing, Eric Young. You know, a lot of people didn't like Eric Young being TNA World Champion. They thought the bill was kind of out of the blue. I agree with all those statements. You know, I think, well, not the first one. But Eric Young's build was kind of out of the blue. You look at the timing of him winning it like the week of Daniel Bryan winning his world title at WrestleMania, and how, you know, Eric Young has been compared for the last, I would say, year or so as their TNA's Daniel Bryan by the fans. So I definitely get the copy and paste syndrome that TNA did, which was wrong for them to do. However, I have no problem with Eric Young being world champion. You know, I think out of all the people that they have on the roster right now, with AJ Styles being gone, I think Eric Young is probably the only good choice to have as world champion besides AJ. He's not the best choice. The best choice would be a Bobby Roode or Austin Aries. I would have loved to see either one of those two become world champion. However, or champion again. Hell, even Samoa Joe when he had his title shot against Magnus. Any one of those three, I thought would have been a better choice. But to have EY as world champion, it's a good choice. It's not the best choice, but it's still a good choice. And I think he's been a pretty good world champion. I've enjoyed him more because Magnus, they ruined Magnus. I mean, completely. I said it since day one. When Magnus first won the world title, they should not have turned him heel. They should have kept him babyface, but they turned him heel. They made him a crappy heel. He was a paper champion. He lost all his matches. At that point, I didn't care. I really didn't care. I like Eric Young anyway. But they had to get that belt off of Magnus because he was dragging the product down, for me especially. So with Eric Young being as entertaining as he always has been, being a good wrestler that he's always has been, and him being the world champion, I think he deserved it. Yes, like I said again, the build was off. It just wasn't, you know, the way they did things were kind of half backwards, half-assed. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm glad EY is world champion. I have no problem with his world champion. He's a much better and safer choice than Magnus, hands down. One thing I do think TNA kind of missed the ball on was having Eric Young wrestle Bobby Roode on free TV with the title on the line. That was a darn good match, I thought, that those two men put on. And I think that was a waste opportunity because I think that could have been the title match to me. I would have much rather had for Slammiversary rather than MVP versus EY, which I'll get to that in just a moment. because I think, Bobby and EY, they had that connection, being TNA originals. They have the connection going back to being part of the Team Canada, and I think they were even tag team champions together as Team Canada. So they could have really built on that for weeks and build that for Slammiversary, but instead they gave it away for free TV. Great match, but they gave a free title match with these two guys that had the type of hits that they had on free TV. I thought that was a blown, missed opportunity. And then just to go on MVP quickly, I think TNA was stupid for turning MVP heel. Why? Can we have one authority figure that's not a heel? I mean, you've had Jeff Jarrett, Dixie Carter, Hulk Hogan, now Dixie Carter, and now MVP. I mean, what the hell is up with turning every authority figure heel? I do not understand that formula. I mean, it does not make sense to me. It does not resonate with me. And on top of that, MVP hasn't even been the sheriff in town for that long. I mean, hell, the dude's only been sheriff in town for about 2 months, and already you flip him heel? Are you kidding me? Really? No. MVP is one of the few bright spots in TNA, and they just turned him heel, and it's like, no. Just no. They're doing this half-ass backwards, and if worse comes to worse, which I think they may do, come Slammiversary, they may end up giving the belt to MVP, and then at that point, okay, what would be the purpose there? MVP would be a reoccurring wrestler wrestling on Impact. I'm sorry, I love MVP, but I don't want that. I like MVP being, the general manager of the Impact Zone, being entertaining, doing what he does, and wrestle occasionally when he needs to or have to. But I don't want MVP to be a full-fledged wrestler on the roster, and especially being world champion. Again, TNA, not knowing what they're doing. They do one thing right, and then they just take 2 steps back, and it just crumbles. I don't get it. So, you guys give me your thoughts on Jeff Jarrett's wrestling promotion, Global Force Wrestling. What are your thoughts about it? Do you like it, dislike it? What do you think of Eric Young as TNA World Champion? Do you enjoy him? Even despite the crappy build to him getting to that championship, what do you think of him as champion? What do you think about MVP's quick heel turn? Are you looking forward to this match? Do you think he's going to be world champion come Slammiversary? What are your thoughts in the box below? Subscribe, comment, peace.